Welcome to today's episode of A More Excellent You. Today is part 2 of our series on imposter syndrome. In part 1, we talked about what imposter syndrome is. Make sure to click the link in the description box to watch part 1. Now in part 2, we'll be talking about what imposter syndrome is not. Number 1. Imposter syndrome is not humility. Humility is healthy. Humility says, I am growing. Imposter syndrome says, I'm not good enough. Humility allows you to be teachable. Imposter syndrome makes being taught feel like exposure, and there's a big difference. A humble person can say, I did well, but I'm still learning. But imposter syndrome struggles to say that. So the person keeps rejecting encouragement in the name of humility. True humility allows you to recognize both your strengths and areas where you need to grow. Number 2. Imposter syndrome is not excellence. Excellence says, I want to do this well. Imposter syndrome says, if this is not perfect, then I am a failure. Excellence is rooted in growth. Imposter syndrome is rooted in fear. A person pursuing excellence can make a mistake and say, what can I learn from this? But a person controlled by imposter syndrome may say, this mistake proves that I am not good enough. You can do things well without demanding flawlessness from yourself. You can pursue growth without punishing yourself for being human. Number 3, imposter syndrome is not self-awareness. Self-awareness recognizes strengths and weaknesses. Imposter syndrome focuses on weaknesses and dismisses strength. Healthy self-awareness sees the full picture. It does not exaggerate strengths, but it does not erase them as well. It does not deny weaknesses, but it doesn't turn weaknesses into your identity. You're allowed to still be in the process and still be valuable. Number 4, imposter syndrome is not being realistic. Many times we find ourselves saying, I'm just being realistic. But sometimes we're not being realistic. We're being fearful. Realistic thinking looks at the full evidence. Imposter syndrome selects only the evidence that supports doubt. So ask yourself this question. Am I being realistic, or am I only focusing on what confirms my fear? Because if you ignore progress, if you dismiss your effort, if you reject praise and magnify every mistake, that is not realism. That is fear pretending to be wisdom. Number 5, imposter syndrome is not proof that you are unqualified. And this is very important. Feeling like an imposter does not mean you are one. Feeling unqualified does not always mean you are unqualified. Feeling nervous does not mean you are incapable. Sometimes you feel uncomfortable because you're growing. Sometimes you feel unsure because you're entering a new level. A feeling is not always a fact. A thought is not always truth. So do not use the feeling of being an imposter as a proof that you're not supposed to be there. Sometimes the feeling simply means your mind has not adjusted to the growth yet. So remember, imposter syndrome is not humility, it is not excellence, it's not self-awareness, it's not realism, and it's not proof that you are unqualified. It is fear that makes you reject evidence, that makes you minimize progress, that makes you magnify weaknesses, that makes you question your belonging. So don't keep protecting this fear by giving it a fancy name. You can still be learning and still belong. You can still be growing and still be capable. You can still be in process and still be in the right place. Thank you for sticking with me to the end. Don't forget to like, to share, and to subscribe. Till next time, bye for now.